Alright, let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to Ember's Tax Tips number 2. What we'll be covering today is your working from home allowance. As it's become the new norm, we want to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck out of your sole trader home deductions. Let's do this. First things first, you need to remember that if you're working from a rental, you need permission from your landlord before you set your business premises from it. Don't stress though, there was recently an act passed that means that landlords can't reasonably withhold approval for this, so you should be okay. Off the back of this, there are two main ways in which you can maximize your deductions for working from home. The first, all those office supplies that you buy for the home. Your desk, the lights, the mic, all business deductions and can be claimed against your taxable profits. Number 2, you can claim a proportion of your rent, the room that you're in, depending on how you would like to deduct it. You can do it via 2 different methods. I'm going to dive into what those 2 different methods are now and really step out the examples to help you through. The first method is known as simplified expenses, where HMRC actually dictate a rate depending on how many hours you work from home. If you're a full-time sole trader working over 100 hours a month from home, you can deduct £26 per month. Not a huge amount, so what we would actually recommend is looking at this second method we're going to take you through. Now the second method, which can actually be a little bit more advantageous, is by claiming the actual costs you incur for running your business from home. So how do I do that? You can either claim based on the number of rooms you use for the business, or by the square footage of each of those rooms. Now I know this is a little bit confusing, so let's jump into an example to help us explain what I can claim. Example number 1. You're lucky enough to have 5 rooms in your house, and for those 5 rooms you pay £2,000 in rent. You use the office 90% of the time for business, and the living room 20% of the time for business. Now we all know it's hard separating business and personal these days, but you use the rest of the house, bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, all for pure personal use. Now the calculation goes that if you take your rent, which is £2,000, and divide it by the number of rooms, which is 5, you get £400 per month. Because you then use room number 1 90% of the time for business, you multiply the 400 by 90%, which means you have £360. You then take room number 2 and you multiply that by 20%, where you get £80, equaling £440 in a total tax deduction against your profits. Example number 2 is based on the square footage of your house. Now this calc is generally better for you if you have a bigger room that you use for the business, such as a photographer using a shooting studio. Let's say your house is 100 square meters, and your main workspace within that is quite big, at around 40 square meters. It's 100% dedicated to business because you use it for that shooting studio, and you still pay £2,000 in rent. You can claim 40 divided by 100 multiplied by 2,000, which is what you pay in rent, and it gives you back £800 per month in a taxable deduction. As you can see, the deduction depending on which method you use can vary quite a bit, so I'd recommend doing both and taking which one is going to give you that maximum deduction against your taxable profits. If you've made it this far and you've found it useful, make sure you comment with any questions you've got on tax and we'll answer them in our future series. Otherwise, make sure you like, subscribe. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time.